for donating 100-acre land lying, being, and situated at Dedesua in Kumasi to meet. How's it pronounced? Dedesua. Yes, I was pronouncing the Asante word like an achievement. Dedesua in Kumasi to meet the acute needs of our people. A vast majority of members of parliament have secured lands for purposes of providing affordable housing units in various constituencies of the country. This will be the launch pad of the Akufo-Addo flats across the length and breadth of the country. It is gratifying to note that our traditional overlords have shown commitment to the wiping out of the deficit and have donated lands for housing undertakings. We are grateful to Otumfuo Osei-Tutu II, the Asantehene, for donating 100-acre land lying, being, and situated at Dedesua in Kumasi to meet. How's it pronounced? Dedesua. Yes, I was pronouncing the Asante word like an achievement. Dedesua in Kumasi to meet the acute needs of our people.
Abusunya we de mamenchiawo na yenyina yenim na otwetwa mu yi Ghana Mampene His Excellency John Dramani Mahama oba Asante Mantemu ahinkuro Kumasi otwamu ko Dedesua e de asokobo form a wono kyerese wono ba besi housing project bi ho a ebeboa ama edan a eho akwa atwe titiru e wo my Ghana mu no Asante Mantemu no wombehwe na womo a titiru womo ya ban adwuma a womo wa wonyehia mu adan sie ho no wono betimi anya sa adan bi mpokura Ghana form wo amonone a womo de sika eba Ghana na womo pese obisi dan ma womo ebe wie kire no na se bia asase koro womo anya bi enu ntina ban ede sa ade na to ne ho so se wo baba ye na semba beto odwe ya na wono mo kire se ehew NDC amonyokuo dakoro mon nan sore na mon kase we de yen ya adwene ena ye de ba ade we de yen kasa ena ye de kan ye manifesto ho ena ye ba ba ye dabi mo ba eniema NPP amonyokuo wono mo twiregu apono so a wo mo ye se omba ye de mo ye ene de o mantimi anyene nyina no masa akosi akire na mo ye enye bone ifiri se wo manchi kire de eye ntokoso de odi kan no ba bi obehwe hye no na won so asoa na wo de atoa so bone bi anim na wono mo kire se nka John Dramani Mahama ebre ya wokase wodwuma di na se nka ontu ne mu ton no wonkase asase we ya babagie ye MPP aban ene de ne sa kwhye nkrata se e ko pem so Asante mawura ye wotikra yure ne bra ngoma so se onfa ma wo mo na omfambra me housing project na fofia ntoata Ghana for pam wo munti ya bade a ene ye menso MPP dwumadie na wo hya ase wo ha no meso meba na mababa beto aso nenso so dabida o maye nyina ye hunu se eye wono ne so ade hunu wono ankasa ne manifesto ana se ni trimupo ena wo hwe amano aba mu nti wa mo MPP fodin na yenko nkohwe ebre ya 2023 His Excellency Dr. Alhaji Mahmoud Bawumia wono mo paw sa National Rental Assistance Scheme dwumadie no odinsem bi tudwa yenko na yenkotie kakra bi ye ba de asisi akire a sese de ya de anim guase kakra de abre NDC amonyokuo no yenya da agenso ne tebi yenko ne kotie Dr. Alhaji Mahmoud Bawumia.
The scheme's implementation will initially commence in 5 regions: Greater Accra, Ashanti, Western, Eastern, and Bono East regions. As the Minister for Works and Housing has said, these were chosen based on the basis of where the most pressure on rent advance is. But the scheme will be rolled out to all 16 regions of Ghana in due course. In partnership with the private sector, and this is one of the novelties of this scheme, because government is working in partnership with the private sector. The scheme will provide low-interest loans to eligible Ghanaians to enable them pay rent in advance. These loans will be repaid monthly to match the tenor of the rent and will be supported by a bank guarantee in this case to ensure sustainability.
na ya wakese ya wadi ne dwuma e wo Peace FM na no mpo wo ye news e bra se wo soafo His Excellency John Dramani Mahama afa ne se wono e na ombra mehwe adansie so mekire Minister for Housing e bra ya o ka aban ni so ade hu no de wo kan se NPP aban e bra ya atachia na wo ye Housing Minister wono e no mo share se adwumadi na se omo e ba besi bibi e wo Dedesua enti wono maba na se aban nso ni so ade hunu so obeto aso a wo mebo NPP aban na abaso na wo mo ahye dwumadi na se na wo matimi ato aso yenko tie Minister for Housing e de ma John Dramani Mahama bra o acknowledge NPP for se wo mo e na ehye dwumadi na se no
opani o yeso afọ hwe adansi ene nsusem ni enyumasem so wo mamu ye onunyamfo Kenneth Gilbert Eje na ode abasobo abo National Rental Assistance Scheme sa hihyewi emana Ghana mampani His Excellency Nana Adrodan kwa Akufo-Addo echa konya kase so no ene ode ban ehihye ne se Ghana fo ade hia wo pe adan han na sabi wo sika sem nyina yi no pese aban bo mo no ene sa hihyewi kwode mom odan tajmedi di ewo mfimpi menu na aduonu miensa 2023 na eno ana aban foforo ba na won se eyade penti se imperials wantu angu wono so eto so na enra se wonin se ndwofo di nkomo na waso eye de ekoso ho eyade pese Ghana forte wo de beda bontenu ena onunyamfo Kenneth Gilbert Eje editu dwa se enipa makomako empemenan ahanso ne aduasan biunu 4732 Ghanaians eni fi se 2023 ehye we yede ban omanyemu emfaso na o se ohamu chichemu aduokronkron 99% so ena ye foto aban de awuroma nensa etimia ka foto no ede boa amanfo se medi kan government accountability series no ena ode ensemi kotu dwa e wo presidency metre abankasim na onunyamfo Eje eto aso no ene wo se sa kwanya we se aban ede ban no koni nyamye no ni ade a wode hye ase no de hye e wo mantem mankuba ensia eye Greater Accra enkrakopon mu Bono East, Northern Region, Eastern Region, Miangasa Minchi, Western Region and Ashanti Region mense wonum Asante Man na eno no de tu dwa se nukwenye enipa anya mu chafani di adanse se e wo se aban tokoso na oye na emumu no aban aya na dwen se oman na de hye de ese obi anya bibi papa ni tituo na aban wati ma dwadwempa e watu na mompa oman so anya mfaso pa.
The National Rental Assistance Scheme, established by the government in 2023 as a social housing program, aims to facilitate access to rental properties for qualifying beneficiaries by providing rent advance. The scheme is currently being piloted in 6 regions, namely Greater Accra, Bono East, Northern, Eastern, Western, and Ashanti regions. In 2025, the scheme successfully facilitated the payment of rent advance for 2,031 Ghanaians across its 6 operational regions, bringing the cumulative number of beneficiaries since inception to 4,732. I am glad to state that so far, the disbursement recovery rate is about 99%, indicating the government seed money is fully recoverable and in circulation. The program's eligibility criteria, application process, and beneficiary success stories highlight its effectiveness in addressing housing needs and enhancing community well-being, and government is poised to take the necessary steps in the short to medium term to scale up the operations of the scheme across all 16 regions of the country.
Na enwachi ena ebinom ebisa se NDC aban ebra mo ba ban mu bre di kan ya na tamel se di animu a ekire ofiri mu ema John Dramani Mahama babeto aso no mokwahye adwumade bi ase e wo Saglemi a moto ne din se Saglemi housing project a eno no mo di $200 million ena ekokohye mu nanka mo ba besi adampon mako 5000 empim num nanso ko wi akire num ahwan so a amana ba empim ene ahanum kyerese 1500 nanso so eno kora mpo no sika na mokwaji ye 200 million ne sign na edan 1500 mpo na mate so aba no mo ntimi ansi enduru ba bia ena me no kasai Saglemi housing emura emfofon ene mmoa ena ebunkam afa ho ahia ni enim se nka NDC nyame ya adomo a wasade mo aba aban mu de nka mbotwa mani mpo edi kan aka akɔhwɛ Saglemi na nka ewie se de be ya ekapudu a ede abesoe wo man no so no enka yebehwe na yedi kan ye no mpokura ansana yebeka akɔgye asase foforo bi wo ba bia yakɔ aka akɔgye nanso so John Dramani Mahama se nokore Saglemi house no ombe ma omani akɔ ho nanso so ene de Dedesua ede no ena ye ba behwe na yatumi asie se de be ya Ghana fo nso so kumasefo Asante mantemufo enso so benya baabi atena enu ti yenko na yenko tie John Dramani Mahama bra wakasa efa Saglemi house ne nhyehyɛ ya wo mode egu akwan mu no kitwa bi na afei no yebra betie Dr. Alhaji Mahmoud Bawumia nsɛm a wo kan ye ewo sa Dedesua any housing project na esi nani so no.
The Saglemi affordable housing project, which was begun in the previous term of the NDC, is being prioritized for completion. New social housing initiatives driven at the district level are also being rolled out to reduce financial barriers to ownership. We're also pursuing geographical equity. Housing must not be confined to only major cities. Regional and district capitals must also benefit from our housing initiatives.
Ghana's constitution is supreme and must be abided by all. Flouting any of those codified laws goes with punishment. It appears, however, that when it comes to the rent laws, it cannot bite much.
In most markets, the ideal position is to have an equilibrium where demand and supply are the same, and so one part of the equilibrium doesn't dominate the other. In the affordable housing space, unfortunately, there is a significant shortage. And whenever there is shortage, it is the owners of that commodity or property that controls the narrative. And in this case, it is the landlords who control it.
The most recent population and housing census data tells us that only 5% of Ghanaians today can on their own put up housing. Another 60% will require some sort of government intervention before they can get access to housing. And for the outstanding 35%, they would even require some sort of more direct support through social housing before they can get shelter. So the market is heavily lopsided on the demand side when there's very limited supply. In fact, today's housing deficit is somewhere between 1.8 to 2 million units. Yet at the same time, about 12% of properties that you see around are unoccupied because they are very high-end properties when there are millions of people who are looking for property. So the few people who have property take advantage of tenants.
A group of researchers in a study done on Ghana's housing and health titled The Psychological Impact of Renting a Home in Ghana revealed that the impact of rental obligations such as raising the lump sum payment, that is, advance rent in particular, not only lead to deteriorating psychological health problems, but also considered as a silent killer in the general population.
You can tell that this problem existed a very long time ago. We had shortage of affordable housing and multi-year rent some 60 years ago.
Sabi, we are Jumakra and Ghana Yedi, Yamakoso, ye 12,000 hand to mouth. We're going to be service 2 years, Munya, another every 8,000 and 7,000 from currency debut. Said I was a free education. A state said about one by free. We don't more GS can be, but I'm about to have flexible. It will continue to be flexible. For a time, I will be as many vision to make see in the future. Because now we pay amount of money 10,000, 8,000 currency dime. Was after no best at a palace beam for another 1 year.
Persons like John Mensah is the reason government came up with this other social intervention program.
The National Rental Assistance Scheme is basically taking a position between the landlords and the tenants. You know, the landlord is sticking by his or her demands, you know, the 2 years or 1 year rent advance. The tenants, on the other hand, like you and I, we want to be able to pay our rent monthly, because rent in most other places is paid monthly. We pay your rent to the landlord, and each month you pay back to the scheme, either through your employer deduction or through your bank, or send it in by mobile money. The application process is no more difficult than a simple job application form. Your name, your address, and then you provide your identification. We need to know who you are. You provide your pay slips if your employer gives pay slips, and then you provide 3 months of your bank statements to show that indeed you are working and you are capable of paying back the scheme, because this is not free. You need to pay it back.
For a young man or woman coming out of school or wherever, trying to rent a place, you haven't even worked for 6 months, that you are supposed to provide rental advance for 2 years or 3 years, and where are you going to get that money from? So this is what was exercising our minds in terms of how do you solve this problem? How do you bridge this gap between the person who wants to rent and the landlord?
It's a critical component of normalizing renting in Ghana.
Housing is a right. If you look at Maslow's hierarchy of needs, for example, food, clothing, shelter, it is one of the most basic needs. It is a right that people must have access to. Now, the National Rental Assistance Scheme supports our citizens who are therefore looking to access housing by making available that initial outlay so that they can make an offer to the landlord of about a year, in this case, and then they can service it on a monthly basis. And what that does is that it gives them access to that right of housing, while they can then at their own pace service it on a gradual basis.
It was a campaign promise by the New Patriotic Party to facilitate accessibility and affordability of safe, secure, and decent rental accommodation, and ultimately protect these targeted people from the unfair burden of multi-year rent advance payment.
It tells you that you are very serious about the issue, that you consider it very important, and you want to make a promise to the people that if you are elected, you will deliver on this. And I think this was one of our 2020 manifesto promises that we made. And by the way, I think that we have fulfilled the promise, and the scheme is working.
The NPP is a very ambitious party, and you will find it through some of the very audacious promises that we make. And we don't just make those promises, we work hard towards achieving those promises. When this promise was made, you recall that it was one of the promises that was mocked. And people came up with this, it's not possible, you can't do it, you can't achieve it. But our leadership has always believed that even the most difficult things are possible to achieve. And you will find that this and many of our promises we were able to achieve as well.
This timely, people-centered public program has, for the past year since inception, absorbed so much pressure from Ghanaians.
Last year June, na hot cake mpa say me too. If you me want ti. My pima scan so mbano. I was expecting scale but mbano. Ti me feel juma ba na me ya want to be say me ko didi na me ti say mo kan o GTV. Say I bind the policy bi aba o mo twa dan ma. Na me dey ba ejuma na me be say colleague my TV don friend with national renters. What tell us what ti. Nti en ko bon hwe na ya use company wife na ya bo na nya na ya follow. But then me two events. Events cheche bibia kama say en ko pen yama mbra. Ti e ba back in me share Sister Rose and I think say within 5 days people now we be go to me people na mom na mo ko twa.
As we speak, we've held slightly under 2,000 people on the scheme. And the good thing is that everybody pays. It's very easy to apply. Just go to our website, www.nras.gov.gh.
Magdalene Osaibonsu is one other beneficiary in Kumasi, and she works with a cocoa clinic. Magdalene is one of the many Ghanaians who suffer psychological distress and forgo a lot of necessities just to save to pay 2 years advance rent.
Madam Fubina or catch me about it. Nam ye di rent home komo. No so why be. Inti no se me here se me rent na so na se mpese me ye dia obetre me mama maye. E no share link no ma me. E na me call online am. Me ye bibia. Me call portal no so. E na me information or more request ye nyina. Or more request me pay slips. Ene me pay slips ene me bank statement. Oh, key in we na edana unya call. Ese what start BBC ye nti no. O pese o toaswa na o catch se o pese o toaswa. Na fe o mankasa me frɛ madam fo no. Nti ono na no as o guide me kakra ma me de ye.
Magdalene was heavy laden, but the simple referral from her friend to the scheme's website was just enough to give her rest.
Me catch se me nya dan ne deda. And omone e fiera no omo ni fiera ne kasaye no mo sikane ne ma no omo tuama fiera no first no esese me copy scan na me de be but we dey boa me nti month bia na metua linka ba ko na nka je se me call bank me call loan na bibisa de bebe rent time frame omo di 2 years scan na very short. Within 3 days, na scanaba. And bank loan dia say ke take some time and sana aba. No sa no so save you. E dan bi wo no ma obenya. Obeba say o ba betua no na yesi obi aba beje. So we there 3 days pepe na me di fiera anizika ma no na. My okay. 2 years na 16,000 I think 800 or so. Ntisa no mutua ma me no. E no momote no every month no.
Initially, many people thought that it was just a promise, that it wouldn't come into being, right? And that, this would just disappear, But we worked at it and we implemented it. And so for the beneficiaries, for many of them, it's a dream come true. They've been able to rent places which they would otherwise have been unable to rent. And so it's very heartwarming for me that the scheme that our government has implemented is helping many people.
When the scheme was launched in 2023, government committed 30 million Ghana cedis towards its initial implementation, and it was to start from 6 regions.
The rent control, who is part of the Ministry of Works and Housing, gave us a list of locations that had the most pressing rental issues. And so they selected Accra, Kumasi, Takoradi, Techiman, Tamale, and Koforidua for us to start with.
For John Mensah, it is his second time running to the scheme for urgent support since he joined.
8 months munia minomu wo ma bibisa si ya endra aswasa kwa relocation asamam. We want to say company na stay say we yen faso. Say we yen mu wa boche say etua bibi ma ye say stay yen faso wo mu a e be boa me enu ye ho chi en say tu anya beneficiary of this. Me ye adwuma de baska no yema be ye basa on say last yema be ye basa nche adwuma na nko iska sem na e over time e sebe kanu. Say na over time bi they are kind of hand to mouth. Na my wife so fa no. Sama pressure. Nti we be bomu de e boa me pa discuss them there. We mu ni wa den class dem dey ni we be
Every document the scheme managers requested from John was supplied, and their verification qualified him to receive assistance. As Rosemary Osei-Jenfi explains, due diligence is done on every document before they commit.
When somebody applies, we go to the person's portal. We check if the person's all the documents we need, which is the person's current 3 months payslip, the current 3 months bank statement, and the Ghana card are all complete. And if the person doesn't have too many loans, the person is good to go. After the person has applied, gone through all the process, we book them for field work. When we go for the field work, the landlords will be signing an agreement with us, which is the tenancy agreement, and we have an agreement to which the landlord and the applicant will both sign with us.
John has been honest to the scheme. He has vowed never to default in paying his monthly returns to the scheme.
This allows any beneficiary who qualifies to never ever pay rent advance again.
From the Ashanti region, we continue to the Bono East regional capital, Techiman. The National Rent Assistance Scheme is fully operational here too, and residents are really enjoying it.
For Techiman is over 160, more than 160. For approving, we are able to approve like 20, but for the payment, every week we are able to pay like no less than 10 per week.
Here in Techiman, we found one of the many beneficiaries. He is Cosmos Ankuma Yeboah. Yes, he works and earns income, but saving towards 2 years rent advance payment was certainly a challenge. The National Rental Assistance Scheme became his life wire.
Water bill, light bill, betin and kakran no baby no. Na asa, fame to ho, na obe boa no na be 2 years, 3 years down rent no. Edding. Enti meti omon kasa na sika boom prekopa menyan sa no de friends say steps no anamontu no me ankasa make calm ho say be ya me nsa be so muntem. Enti e boa me pa ma me na me nisika eda ho say me kofa na prekopa ya bitua dan ka. But through rent assistance scheme no.
For Cosmos, the fact that he can now save money to solve some other important permanent pressing needs is enough for him. He is indeed delivered.
A year how be a free so say Sabre ame wo ho ame ba ebe ko school and on baby school fees ananka meboa no nanka e bia ebe pam abofra na mo na ba fie na commit me papa me father ni ho ne ade no eno no timi ma me save that scan no e ma abofra no ye bi school pay kenkran na okwa na ni school fees den ekura no nti sa how no etimi ayeden e ye free so.
The initiative appears too good to be true.
When we hear of something that is new, that has never been done, because of the environment and the numerous scandalous activities in the country, your first reaction is that this is too good to be true, that it must be a scam, right? But this is not a scam. I mean, I've never seen any scam where you use your money to pay for something for somebody else.
Scheme way there. They have me interest with guys be doing say any possible. Be fraud because me enter me enter first. Now me enter first as somebody dimeti. To me enter first, me guy back follow me year 2. So see most of guys abe join. For me,
it's not shocking because many of the things I've tried to do in this country since I have the privilege to serve are things that are not usually being done in the system. I believe in possibilities. I don't fear taking on things that haven't been done. So whenever I come up with an idea, there's a whole lot of skepticism. You know, they even say, oh, he's lying. That doesn't shock me that people, you know, were shocked and didn't think it will work and all of that. I've come to realize that anything I say, you know, because those things haven't really been done, people can be very skeptical, you know, about it. But usually, time proves me right.
Dr. Bawumia is somebody who is focused on finding solutions to challenges. If you find him in the midst of a conversation and you find other people lamenting about problems, he's the one who is quickly getting to the end of the conversation like, okay, so how do we fix it? How do we solve it? How do we introduce some modern ways of cutting through the challenges so that we can resolve it? This is one initiative that is helping us to make a dent in the housing market, particularly when it comes to the relationship between landlords and tenants and smoothing that curve. But beyond this, there are quite a number of other initiatives that we are looking at in the housing space. He's also keen on us expanding our already existent affordable housing program by not just looking at government bringing money to build it, but how do we attract the private sector and make it worth their while to bring affordable technology, speedy work, and to deliver affordable housing at a price point that makes sense to the market. So when Dr. Bawumia becomes president, you will see some oomph in rural housing and affordable housing, and also some improvement in the regulation of the housing sector using a lot of these digital tools that he's been speaking about.
The National Rental Assistance Scheme is giving landlords the peace of mind to continue renting their homes out. Michael Barr Jenkins is Cosmos's landlord. He walks us through how, without sweat, he found full payment of Cosmos's 2 years rent advance in his bank account.
No Ghana card number, and my account number. No tears can to me my account more. I just say I buy my personal property and then build on that. Then the my year man. Until I trust on the rent for no. Obitrian kakra more. Ubu ha the time sokra na ochia. Best 6 months sokra na just Cobra na na ochira no utian half na just cano. The opesa odi no krano into me. But we need the minian bulk. Until the main person with the biano. The renovation will be her come up.
Mr. Jenkins can't believe the era where landlords had to chase their tenants for their rent is about becoming a thing of the past.
As leaders, this is really what you are charged to do. You are charged to try to make life easier and better. And so everything that I do, I try to do, is in that direction. You know, you have a problem. You know, people, you know, when the electricity goes off and you have to go to the ECG to buy your electricity unit. In the middle of the night, you can't. How do we make it easier? Digitalize the process so you can sit at home and buy electricity, even from abroad and buy electricity. You make life easier. You renew your national health insurance, even from your home. You make life easier. You can send money to any telco or bank account, which you couldn't do before. Mobile money interoperability, you bring it. You make life easier. You see what I mean? So national rent assistance, the free SHS, free TVET, all of these things makes life easier for Ghanaians. Before, our mothers struggled so hard to get these identities, even just a birth certificate. But now, on your mobile phone, within minutes, they will tell you this is your child's birth certificate number, this is your child's Ghana card number. It makes life easier.
Anybody who is part of the scheme now will never ever have to pay rent advance again. That is what we are targeting. Number two, how much does it cost? Any money that the government has put in now, they have made a profit. Imagine if government made profits in all its interventions. We would be in a far better place, right? So it doesn't cost the government any money. And is it sustainable? And that too is yes, because when we set a limit, assuming that the government has says that let's cap it at 6,000 people, 6,000 beneficiaries. as the money revolves, it gets to a point where the government doesn't have to put in any more money. It becomes self-sustainable.
Everything is becoming possible in Ghana now, and that is the sign most Ghanaians are looking for.
Very, very, very good. Especially as workers no be bring ohaya na ahonchirenti omuntimuntia. Obi also kura no rent allowance no advance no ya de obetimatua. Kamransi be 6 months do but na one be just 6 months no kwa 2 years ya no obi aka. Ndi ye mrabi a amanhihye bi a aba de aba bi se beboa omo high dan tenants no.
Rent assistance scheme sa program no anase dwumadie no na ba ete ase enti me manya so mfaso enti me kanfo ama obi bia so se wa ohia bibisa no utu anamo ekọ mo office ono omo transe a wo so nsa beka na ya sese wonsa eka efiri omo
school we dey go on pass aban no oba mana stay
ya dey sese omo to aso ebeboa ya sebe ye ntimi nya sika no emfanye sebiye nya sika ne da ho se de nti omo boa ye na ye de tua na bosome bia wo mo tete ye ya eno ye beta ebeboa nti omo nto aso.
This joy cannot be quantified, and a visionary leader made it happen.
When Dr. Bawumia becomes president, I know one of the things that he's keen on us pushing is rural housing. You go to many of our villages today and you see the old Atakpame structures poorly laid out there. Sometimes it's difficult to even maneuver between buildings. One of the things he's looking at is how to redevelop some of these rural areas through the rural housing scheme by using public sector workers as the fulcrum, the initial market, around which little settlements using local rural housing technology to build settlements for them. And that would signal the local community about the new ways of developing settlements in the using local technology. And we expect that when that is successful, it will begin to evolve and redefine how our rural areas look like.
It works and it's gone very well. So I'm going to very significantly, by the grace of God, if I am elected, I'm going to very significantly increase the resources that we are putting into the National Rental Assistance Scheme, because it can help so many people, many people in the area of the rent space without really losing the money. You help and it becomes a revolving fund. And so I am expecting a very significant injection of funds into the rental assistance scheme.
It is possible! For the Vice President, impossibility is out of the question now.
That is how we should do it, because once you can conceive it, you work hard at finding how to achieve it, right? And that is what we should do. And if you want to transform a country, you have to move away from what you have been doing, because what you have been doing is what got you into where you are. So if you want to change it, you have to do something different. You have to think outside the box, do things you haven't done before, change the whole formula and bring in new things. And that is what I keep trying to do. Challenge people, do things that think are impossible, prove them wrong. And that is what we have been doing. And so I've been very happy with the progress we've made on the National Rental Assistance Scheme. Just so happy that we've been able to help so many people. And then the going forward, we're going to do more.
With God, or the Almighty Allah in the picture, it is possible. And with Alhaji Dr. Bawumia ready to lead the charge, there is hope, and all impossibilities will succumb to the authority of possibilities. It is so very much possible.
Show him say Juma Bako for no and Intinana boy PSC Chanchan Kwaku Putin Ewa of Kwaku. Match be away.
Yeah, media.
Bibia Boko de.
Okay,
on too many dinner midday.
I think and I said, make count a Keska or Berman as your roof. Oh, Saturday, and then there's no power. Okadokno in the Toro Kinky.
Papa look at good is can you mean?
That's it. When you can share me a mini about Chairman Credit Taylor. I mean, Chairman Baby be a mission, no sense to ensure you. I mean, oh, him, say we abwa owa Ghana politicians no mu ho. Wa mu ho papa chana jo. Ono ba hu no be do money. Intram dey no eh you know.
Bible see you strong.
Enye easy.
And you Ghanaian politician.
Wa mu ho chana jo. Enti bibi say no ya na me ma no eni dimitim kese. Ne ka dey ede. Ba no you no any asem. Maybe some who say Papa can say you are joined Ramani Mahama. Wakabidana. Yes. I want me and Yemuko temple. Attach her could get her Freddy the day so I don't need that or bonnet a day for Fruby into a Nasa Antonio Coboas Antidini, you know, kind a crumpo one yet. Minim Sike Chacho was so far now 1 year, dear. Which passes and 1 year Sicano. Ain't he a bubble medina nedding commobile? But them and one say Ghana politicians. More new say ya general from sir. Every time more selected professionals in Kra and one some kakra doctors, nurses, teachers near the public sector workers a year. Now your doctor be a wisi COVID me sin fee a chain generals be 90%. Into your koyan say public sector and kwana. You wish one more dear be what you can say and doing crossing near the ear chema and kaye. Yana Kiane say, Obi Biara ye Jumanka, Susu say, Nisikan to Kotasa say, Namum Busumbian commit me yanka cranka crana, 15-year duration ye kane, Kenu no sono, what may ye be a man hono, 74 days and net ye, Nanya a Benjamin Fonqua. Employ informal workers in the sector, so be to me a trade challenge crack, Nakasako Yanoho, Fisia Bomusa, cause minimum doctors be Bromo Mufi Nadi. Our Mukrano Omunko Hias Adeno. Na general say say hi da bebre etete in twase into ho na treman kebeboa na all can no okay abeka Saglemi say no say beka ho na awie na braso na etwa $200 million say they see 5,000 units Ibra Kolendada 1,506 yentu awie mu half mpo tika na yira de kan so ye hu oye ne dey ye kan no awie JDM Nankasa can say 200-day community day secondary schools. Oh, we know we 40 po. 200 no we 14 po. Or can 10 new training colleges. A crumpo yam to me and Franca. And to Mr. Politician Kasa, Mrs. Sumani Yamide, just will we near Pahon to man. We are commissioner. So they unveil launching Pono, we cry announcement. Commissioner can make Daddo. Cause any more. Omu twa no maka no kra kire omu twa no maka no kra kire the car dey dey sika to ho ane anim sika sempo no yentumi awie mu 1/3 na dey sika na ho ena efie na yiso ena em gwangwa no
we sika da ho wabo sika ni din
sika big push sika no enu kra na aka say big push ye dey say big push ye dey say sika na say that big push
the dyna dey dey see fie ni different from the big push we housing fund no
o say ka
o say
akwan every big push
ni kan say sika na ye dey si dan no ho na mom o ma twe na adwen si so no e na o de akwan ye wo ho nso e ka
sika na say no dey ato ho me see Saglemi
30 billion
cities where cities 30 billion cities Saglemi $200 million ebesine ye ho ba bi sika na fa inti ebesre no omonfa ose enye woyo Ghana mro saade no so ye sika ye we resources ye mro saade no so akronfo di o man so dodo eno se hweka akronfo so ni ase NPP ni NDC for NPP ni NDC for na aboye krono a because nukranie Ghana dodo se ne hu osaje for abreso dodo se ne hu busy abreso na yempo e wa se dodo se ne hu liman na abreso the liman se for republic dispensation atrona doso enunti nenne yetumi ko commission 3 classroom block CMS school bi no man pani na eko omo mo bra bi anti no ase be ma waware no yakọ ma na so mo sem mama chop money eniwu kanoma we kranke enka hwaman o ma ye bi na ne Obama ye One more resources and to Ghana de quota. You go to between a cover with Bianchi. You cook between a cover and a guntra. And can no matter what Ghana no, or be crackers what the chin between a woman, Emanae. Then I could see. Tebesreno. Ne can know your difference womb.
Sure.
To me, my carry my memo and say, no man, I'm castle, no casa cabia, Nina, 1 year pay. And then answer, Tebet is for catch fans, no bedroom, yes, Reno, or man, cray and yejuma. No more interest scope no soon. No cray a jumano, yen trim will be a bit me at Toby Bia, and Kakanka, yes, what turn out